welcome to Coffee Talk. I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is our Cultural Variety Podcast. Stay tuned. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowds. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back. Let me root for the home team. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Peace, and welcome to Coffee Talk Podcast, the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. This is Coffee Talk Podcast Wednesday Night Sports, and I am your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba, and this is the Cultural Variety Podcast Show. How y'all doing today on this Wednesday night? Yes. How are y'all doing tonight? If you're just tuning in, yes, indeed, this is Coffee Talk Podcast, Wednesday Night Sports, where you can catch us every Wednesday right here on live YouTube as well as Facebook. And tonight we got a great show lined up for tonight. We're going to be talking about baseball. Why? Because it is the grand opener of the new 2026 baseball season this past week. So we're definitely going to go ahead and dive right into that. So we got a very short show for tonight. Some good reads, though, for our people that enjoy when I do read, to encourage kids, elders, and anybody that wants to take up reading, man. Reading is fundamental. Reading helps feed the brain. It helps build vocabulary. It also it just helps you become a critical thinker, and it's also just good to read. It actually reduces stress, and it's something positive. You know what I'm talking about? So again, we support literature here at Coffee Talk Podcast, and that's why we have our short stories. All right. So if this is your first time tuning into the show, you know, we never start a show without giving you the wise words as well as the flavor. So let's go ahead and begin with the flavor. Everything tonight is baseball because it's baseball season. And we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So tonight's flavor is cold, refreshing beer at a baseball game. That's right. Cold, refreshing beer at a baseball game. So why? What are the 5 benefits of having some cold brew beer at a baseball game? Let's go ahead and drop it on behalf of Google search for giving us these benefits to look up. So number one of the reasons why to have a cold beer at a baseball game on a sunny day is because it helps with heat relief. It's refreshing. A cold beer offers immediate refreshing relief from the hot sun and the humidity. The crowded stadium conditions as acting as a cooling treat. So that's why we like to drink a cold beer, definitely with ice or whatnot. The second benefit is the social bonding and the atmosphere that it creates. That's right. When you're at a baseball game, you got you a nice cold beer, you're chilling out there. Make sure it's not a dome stadium, it's an outside stadium where you can enjoy beer. Beer is like a communal ritual that enhances the social experience of sharing the game with friends and fellow fans. Also, number 3, it's nutrient content. That's right. Beer contains essential nutrients, including silicone, which can contribute to bone density, potassium, and prosperous. I apologize for that, tripping over the word. Number 4 benefits of drinking a cold beer at a baseball game is the antioxidant boost that it provides. Beer is rich in polyphenols derived from the hops and the malt, which offer anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. And number five benefit to drink you a cold beer at a baseball game is because it gives moderate relaxation. That right? It helps you to reduce stress. It gives you a celebratory mood while watching the game of your favorite home team. These are the 5 benefits of drinking a cold beer at a baseball game. All right. Next up is our wise words. Again, if this is your first time tuning into the show, we never start a show without giving you the flavor as well as the wise words. Now, the flavor can be anything that is calm, refreshing, anything that you're drinking on. You know what I mean? So you could be drinking on some water, some wine, a latte, a smoothie, a beer, whatever you're drinking on. But we just want to encourage you to come on in and kick your feet up and enjoy the Coffee Talk Podcast. You know who got your flavor. Now, the wise words are words of affirmation. The wise words are words that inspire. The wise words are quotes that motivate you. The wise words are from our ancestors, whether they are living today or whether they have gone on to the essence. They done left definitely some flavor for you. So that's what the wise words are. So tonight's wise words come from a gentleman that was born June 26, 1974, out of New Jersey. He wears the number 2 jersey in that gray pinstripe. 5-time world champion. They also call him El Capitan. He played 20 years for the New York Yankees, and he retired May 14th, 2017. Tonight's wise words are from no other than shortstop of the New York Yankees and Hall of Famer, Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter's wise words was this. Derek Jeter once said, "It doesn't take any talent. It doesn't take any talent to play hard." I'm going to say that again. It doesn't take any talent to play hard. You just want to contribute. You know what I'm saying? You want to give your best. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the part that Derek Jeter said, but that's the part I added on to it. But again, Derek Jeter says it doesn't take any talent to play hard. And so that's all coaches are asking of you, is to just go out there and give it your all, man. As long as you are giving your all, whether that be in homework, studies, job interviews, building your businesses, being a good parent, being a good friend, whatever that is, man, as long as you giving your best, man, that's going to be well respected. You know, as long as you true to your word, that is going to be something that's well respected. So again, man, just go ahead and give your best. Play hard. You know what I'm talking about? All right. So now let's go ahead and get right into our show here at Coffee Talk Podcast. Tonight is all about the Negro baseball leagues. So we got a few short stories that we will go ahead and read. We will stop and probably talk about some of the things that we're going to hear. You know what I mean? And give me just 1 second. I know that camera's a little. There we go. All right. Let me just blow up the camera a little bit. There you go. Can you see my team's field in the background? My second favorite team anyway, the Boston Red Sox. You know. My favorite team, as y'all all know, is the Minnesota Twins, though, no doubt. Yeah, you know what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and dive right into our show. Again, this is Wednesday Night Sports. You're tuned in for any other things such as Cultural Studies Night or Grown Folk Social Hour. You got to catch those shows on Sunday, Monday, alternate nights, on Friday, Saturday, alternate nights. But tonight is strictly about sports. And again, we don't care about who won a game or lost a game. We love to talk about the different intricacies that goes on in the world of sports when it comes to our people. You know what I'm talking about? So let's go ahead and dive right in, shall we? All right. So we got some short reads. Each one of these reads lasts about 3 minutes. So if you got a total of 15 minutes on hand, then go ahead and enjoy these short stories. Now, before we begin, I will give you some time. Go run to the kitchen, grab you something to drink. Make sure you grab you some flavor. Make sure you sit the kids down. There's not going to be cuss words, or I would say, you know, me, I might slip up, but I'll make sure that I don't. But make sure that you have the kids, friends, cousins, nephews, or whatever, listening to the show tonight. They may hear some inspiring stories that they may want to write an essay about, or they may want to talk to you or grandpa or uncle about, you know, about baseball. You know what I'm saying? So the first story tonight is called The First Black Player in Organized Baseball. So the rivalry between national organizations helped create an opportunity for Moses Fleetwood Walker to become the first African American to play what is known as organized baseball. When the National League of Professional Baseball Clubs arose in 1876 to replace the NABP, the National League of Professional Baseball Clubs continued the early club's ban on blacks. But in 1880, rebels against what became the National League formed their own competing American association. Moses Walker was the Toledo Mud Hens' full-time catcher when the team joined the Northwestern League of the American Association of Baseball Clubs in 1884. Walker had been the first African American to play on a white college varsity team, catching in 1878 for Oberlin College in Ohio, and later at the University of Michigan Law School. Racism still blunted his baseball career, however. He had a nasty run-in with the Adrian Cap Anson, the star of the Cincinnati Red Stockings and a known racist. Walker was also jeered by fans when the team played in Louisville and threatened with bodily harm when the team planned to play in Richmond, Virginia. Despite such harassment, Walker compiled an excellent record in 1884. He batted 251 over 46 games, including 4 doubles, 2 triples, and was a superb fielding catcher. That is the first story of tonight of the first black player in organized baseball. And he goes by the name of Moses Fleetwood Walker. Yeah, it was tough trying to get into the major leagues, as you know, back then. But hey, Moses Fleetwood Walker would have never attempted way back then, who's to say if we ever would have had a Darryl Strawberry or a Kirby Puckett or a Dave Winfield, you know what I mean? Or Reggie Jackson. All right. Now, let's go ahead and go right to the next short story. And that story is titled Blacks Forced Out of Professional Baseball. African American players were becoming popular in the league again in 1887 when Cap Anson, the manager of the Chicago White Stockings, refused to field the team against Newark until Moses Walker and George Stovey left the field. Anson's personal boycott galvanized the opposition of several white players who refused to play against black players. The same year, players on the St. Louis Browns, a white team, sent a letter of protest to the team president on the eve of a scheduled game before 15,000 against the Cuban Giants that read, "We, the undersigned players, the undersigned members of the St. Louis Baseball Club, do not agree to play against Negroes tomorrow. We will cheerfully play against white people at any time and think by refusing to play, we are only doing what is right. Taking everything into consideration, the protest worked. The game was called off, and the St. Louis Browns played against and lost to the Detroit Tigers instead. It was then understood throughout the league that no black players would be signed in the future. Most black players were paid much less than white players. This pay disparity was one of the reasons white players increasingly objected to playing with blacks. White players feared large numbers of black players on a team might lower the salaries for all. So it's always something like that, man. It's always either they're afraid of the talent or they're afraid that they would have to give up something. You know what I mean? Why are you so afraid of us? Is it because there's something that you might be doing? Talk to me. All right. Let's move right along to our third story of 5. The third story is called the Negro National League. The Negro National League, at the urging of Rube Foster, a select group of black baseball club owners met at the colored YMCA in Kansas City on February 13th and 14th, 1920, to form the Negro National League. The owners present were Rube Foster of the Chicago American Giants, C.I. Taylor of the Indianapolis ABCs, Joe Green of the Chicago Giants, J.L. Wickerson, a white owner of the Kansas City Monarchs, Lorenzo S. Cobb of the St. Louis Giants, and J.T. Blunt of the Detroit Stars. The NNL, the National Negro League, was the first long-term black league in any professional sport. In the league's debut game on May 2nd, 1920, the Indianapolis ABCs defeated the Chicago Giants 4-2 in front of 8,000 fans at home. The NNL disbanded in 1931 due to bickering among owners, weak financial backing, few stars for the black press to write about, and the death of Rube Foster on December 9th, 1930. The NNL finally received serious competition in 1937 when the Negro American League was formed. The NAL consisted of the Kansas City Monarchs, the St. Louis Stars, the Indianapolis Athletics, the Cincinnati Tigers, the Memphis Red Sox, the Detroit Stars, the Birmingham Black Barons, and the Chicago American Giants. While black baseball teams often played each other, more often they barnstormed, traveling from town to town in the United States, Cuba, Mexico, and the Dominican Republic to play local black teams and semi-professional white teams. While no record of these contests have survived, evidence suggests such black teams were competitive with white professional baseball teams. In 1911, Ty Cobb and the Detroit Tigers played a black baseball team in Cuba. Cobb batted .370 for the 5-game series, but the black team's John Lloyd averaged a batting average of .500. Cobb refused to play any more black teams after the series was concluded. So as you can see, Ty Cobb had a phenomenal game batting .370, but John Lloyd was batting .500 on the black team. Also, something that I want to point out is You could tell that the National League was exciting, because look how they would pack the crowds in the National Negro League. It says here that one of the games had 8,000 fans. So everybody would travel all over to see those great teams in that great league. We have two of my favorite players to discuss next on this short story. So let's go ahead and proceed. Next up is one of my favorite players, Josh Gibson, who was born in 1911 and went on to the Essence in 1947. Known as the Black Babe Ruth, Josh Gibson, born in Buena Vista, Georgia, on December 21st, 1911, was probably the most powerful baseball player of his time. Roy Campanella, who played with both Hank Aaron and Josh Gibson, once said, "I think Josh was the greatest home run hitter I ever saw." Now, it's true. Nobody ever counted the home runs this man has hit. But I'll say one thing, I'll put him with anybody. Not taking anything away from Babe Ruth. I think Josh Gibson was the greatest home run hitter that ever lived. He was easily the best player on his favorite team, the Homestead Grays, where he played catcher. In one game, he hit 4 home runs out of Griffith Stadium, according to his teammate Buck Leonard. I saw him almost hit one out of Yankee Stadium at the Polo Grounds. I saw him hit one between the upper deck and the roof. It hit an elevated train track outside the park. Josh hit 70 to 72 home runs in 1 year. In 1939, he hit more home runs in Griffith Stadium than all the right-handed hitters in the American League combined. Unfortunately, there are no official records of Gibson's performances, and he died before the desegregation of baseball. All right, let's go ahead and move forward. Let's see, we have 2 more players we're going to discuss here. The next story is about Judy Johnson. Let's proceed. Judy Johnson, another outstanding player, was a third baseman. Judy Johnson of the Pittsburgh Crawfords. Johnson was regarded as one of the best all-around players in baseball. He was an excellent fielder, able to roam to the right and left to catch balls. He bunted and hit well, and he was a defensive punisher who often threw out men at the plate with his powerful arm. In March 1975, Judy Johnson was inducted to the Baseball Hall of Fame. All right. If you don't know, this is Coffee Talk Podcast, Wednesday Night Sports, and you are here with your host, Mashuma Saba, M. Saba. This is our cultural variety podcast show. All right, now for the last story of tonight, one of my favorite pitchers. This brother was born 1906 and went on to the Essence in 1982. He goes by the name of Satchel Paige. Let's begin. Leroy Satchel Paige, earned his nickname while carrying satchel bags at the train station in Mobile, Alabama. He began pitching at age 18 in 1924 with the Mobile Tigers. In 1926, Paige pitched for the Chattanooga Black Lookouts and the New Orleans Black Pelicans for $50 to $200 a month. Legendary as a pitcher in the Negro Leagues, Paige played in the 1948 World Series in Game 5 between the Cleveland Indians and the Boston Braves at Cleveland. Paige pitched relief for 2/3 of an inning. He went on to play for the St. Louis Browns in 1951 through 53. To qualify him for a major league pension, the Kansas City Athletes signed Paige in 1965 for one game in which he pitched 3 innings. He was 59 years old at the time. Satchel Paige was inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame in 1971. So what do you think about the great American pastime, baseball? You know, I remember a beautiful story when my grandfather, Ursel Neal, was alive. And I took my twins over to my grandfather's house. They had to be about maybe 6 to 8 months old. And one of my twins, Jamal, we call him Juma, he was sitting on my grandfather's lap. And my grandfather was looking at his hands. And he said to me and Jamal's mother, he said, this boy got big hands. I think he's going to be a baseball player. Well, he never did play baseball, but his younger brother did. My younger son used to play baseball for about 5 years. And then I finally allowed him to do what he wanted to do, and he decided to walk away from it. But every now and then when we go by the parks, as a father, you know, I'd be thinking about the times that he played and how I would sit in the stands and just get to be a parent, enjoy the weather, and watch my son play baseball, man. What a beautiful memory that is. You know what I'm talking about? So tonight, before we go, I want to give you some homework. I want you to chime on in our chat box and name me your top 5 baseball players. It's positionless, so it doesn't matter what positions or what teams. But go ahead and name your top 5 baseball players in the history of you. You know what I mean? I'll go ahead and name my 5. My 5 is El Capitan, Derek Jeter, Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, Kirby Puckett, Dave Winfield. Those are my 5 players. Oh, and I forgot my man Barry. You know what I mean? So I got 6. But for you, go ahead and drop all your favorite baseball players in the chat box. Let us know who your favorite players are. Also, let us know if you're going to get out to a game this year, even if it's one. You know, in baseball, they play 162 games. Are you going to go out there and enjoy some beer? We'd love to see you out there. I know I'll be going out there at least one game this year. And hey, more likely it'll be against my 2 teams, the Minnesota Twins versus the Boston Red Sox. So I may have to wear a split hat or something. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, you know what it is. I like mining tools. So with that being said, man, this is Coffee Talk Podcast. This is the Cultural Variety Podcast show. This is our Wednesday night sports. Hey, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you for supporting the show. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you. We got a great summer ahead of some great podcasting. And also, I do want to say this, man. We do have a prize that we're gonna start pretty soon, or I have a prize for a contest, I would say, that we're gonna start pretty soon. And what it actually is, I'll just go ahead and fill you in, is from today, which is April 1st, all the way until May 1st, go ahead and send $2 donations, $2 to my Cash App. That's right, a $2 donation will create your entry fee to win a nice G-Shock watch. As you can see, it's definitely G-Shock. So you can put in as many donations as you like, but make sure you put in at least $2 to put yourself in the drawing. And at on May 1st, we will go ahead and call out your name, whoever's name is drawn, to win a G-Shock watch. Yes, this can be yours. Nice navy blue G-Shock, absolutely waterproof. You know how G-Shock gets down. I will be giving this away May 1st here live at Coffee Talk Podcast. You can get a G-Shock watch. All it takes is $2 to enter and to go to my Cash App. My Cash App is $Mashuma Saba 7. So make sure you also can see it as the show comes on. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Make sure you continue to tune in to Coffee Talk Podcast Sports, and make sure you make the donations to my Cash App. All it takes is $2. You could be a winner. Blue G-Shock, all for you. So until next time, I'll see you again. I'm going to hit you with the universal peace sign. I'm checking out. You checking in. This is Coffee Talk Podcast, the cultural variety podcast, Wednesday night sports. I'll see y'all next Saturday. All right. Until next time. Peace.